the ABC 57 special Indivisible 250. It airs tomorrow right here at 12 noon, taking a close look back at Michiana's past, including its politics.
Political division is not something new, but like everything else in America, it's evolved quite a bit since way back in 1776.
ABC 57 morning anchor Jordan Tolbert digging into why it happens and how the founders' warnings about political polarization translate today.
To understand political division in America, you have to understand its roots. I spoke with Dr. Kathryn Cramer Brownell, director of the Center for American Political History, Media, and Technology at Purdue University, and Dr. Sebastian Graham, the assistant director of Purdue's Cornerstone Institute for Civic Thought. Political division is not something new, right? So talk about how that has changed, what that kind of looks like in 1776 versus 2026.
Writers of the Federalist Papers are very clear that everywhere democracies have always suffered from factions. The many versus the few is the way it appears in antiquity. And they were deeply concerned about this because they knew that factions kill democracies.
Factions are defined as a party or group in a government that is often contentious or self-seeking. And one History.com article outlines how Alexander Hamilton once called political parties the most fatal disease of popular government. It goes on to say the framers of America's new Constitution hoped to avoid the division seen in England and saw factions as a reminder of what they considered to be a corrupt monarchical system, leaning into true democratic government while keeping the dangers of political parties in mind. And then, political parties entered the scene soon after the nation's founding.
These political parties have been, ingrained into our society, but they weren't necessarily there at the get-go. And all of our founding generation was really sort of thinking, how can we try to avoid these political parties from destroying what we've just created?
And I think one of the most important things is to think about what's undergirding these moments where you do have an intense division among parties, among sections of the country.
Professor Brownell points to examples in American history where there was clear political polarization and the underlying causes. From the Civil War, spurred by the debate over slavery, to more recently the 1950s and 60s, with racial discrimination a major topic, and the civil rights movement that sought to fix it. She also recalls divides over the Vietnam War or the push for women's rights.
The country is still grappling with these longer legacies, again, about rights and citizenship and equality.
America, polarization has been increasing roughly since the 1960s. America is becoming more and more polarized.
And recent studies back this up. One from the University of Cambridge shows divisions have risen steadily since 2008, which is the same year Apple launched its App Store. And Brownell says fueling polarization is the information landscape and how we consume it.
It's very much filtered through algorithms and a political ecosystem that tends to spur the very emotional responses that George Washington once warned about. That is actually baked into how the information ecosystem functions today, to encourage people to get angry, to not think rationally, and to think based off of their emotions. And that tends to ramp up some of the political divisions.
That was ABC 57 morning anchor Jordan Tolbert reporting. So how do we bridge these gaps? Those professors say talking to each other and education is a good start, and that's another piece of advice backed by research.
A recent study led by the Polarization Research Lab, yeah, that's a thing, found educating young people on tolerance and civil discourse, as well as lowering the temperature of the rhetoric from top elected officials and party leaders, could certainly help. Jordan's story will be part of the special ABC 57 hour-long special celebrating 250 years of American independence. Tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern, join us for Indivisible 250, an in-depth look back at how Michiana got where it is now and how the past is still informing the region to this day and into the future as well.